And here we are. Matthew,
We're back.
what time is it?
Oh, my good friend, it is time to make him a poo.
Thank you. That's right. It's time to make him pay. Welcome all. Glad you can join us. It is episode 2
A dose.
of the Make Him
Episode
Pay
dose.
NBA Fantasy Podcast, brought to you by Squeak Scolari Basketball. And, of course, we are your hosts, Matthew Cowie.
What's going on? And Mr. Brian, Primetime Purcell.
Primetime Purcell, yes. Been called many things, but Prime seems to have stuck over the years.
Plenty worse, probably,
Plenty
too.
worse,
That's quite a good one.
worse, but that's cool. That's cool. Hey, we've made it to episode 2. We promised we're going to keep trying, and here we are.
We're going to get to 4.
Yep.
We're going to get to 4, and then it's party time.
That's right.
Dude, I'm super keen. It's draft week. We've got a stack to go through. Dude, yeah, can't wait to get stuck into it. There's heaps and heaps to talk about.
Sure is. Big week in NBA. Big week in NBA fantasy, as everyone's or most people's drafts are kicking off. And in particular, I've been told after episode 1 that I mentioned to everyone that our draft was on the 19th. It's actually Saturday the 18th. Thank you, Adam, for that critical piece of information. So maybe, Adam, maybe I put it on the 19th so that I can draft by myself, get who I want, and send you all packing. What do you reckon?
Look, what I think you did it on purpose just to see if anyone was actually going to watch or listen to the pod. Because if no one was paying attention, they wouldn't have known. So I think it was just a little litmus test you dropped out there, just like a bit of a, subconscious thing, subliminal messaging. And hey, it got the response we wanted. So it was a test and they all passed.
That's it. Second KPI we've met in 2 episodes. So that's
mate, we're kicking.
Fantastic.
We're kicking goals, mate. We've got this in the bag.
No, thank you, Adam. Saturday the 18th. Yep, massive day for the Squeak Scolari Trophy, and for our league in particular. So big day being draft day, and obviously we'll be wrapping up all the NBA preseason this week as well, essentially. So yeah, we're all looking forward to it. We're all getting super excited. How do you
rock and roll? Look, it's a little bit different over here. I mean, this year in particular, there's a couple of different reasons why. I'm not actually going to be at the draft for the first time in the 10 years of being in the league, but I feel like I know I'm going to be made to pay. I feel like I've got a reasonable excuse why. I'm actually going to be in the Big Apple. I'm going to be in the air at the time of the draft, flying to New York. Got tickets to opening night for the Knicks against the Cavs. We'll see a bit of ice hockey, get another game against the Celtics a couple of days later, and go and have all the bagels and pizza that we can possibly fit in. So amazing. I've got good enough reasons not to be there. That being said, because I am on the other side of the country to the majority of the guys in the league. I mean, I grew up in WA, but I'm based in Melbourne, and yourself and a lot of the other guys are in Perth. Yep. Look, it's always been, like you make a day of it, certainly with the draft, and talk about it, because I've never been able to get to one of the WA draft days. But what do? We all get together. There's a bit of a Zoom chat. Bit of a cook-up. It all certainly seems like a lot of fun. I'd love to be over there in person.
It is. And you've come over for other NBA days over Christmas and all the rest of it. But draft days essentially, it's the crown jewel for Squeaks. We've tried to mould a lot of the a lot of the rules and the building blocks of the league around draft day. So yeah, it is a get together. There's usually anywhere between 8 to 10 of the 16 that will be in person. This year it's my place, so having hosting for the last 2 years. Eric before that has hosted for a number of years, so yeah, it'll be a cook up. It'll be a big day of foxing, trying to set everyone up for failure and predict who everyone thinks they're going to be going all in on.
Oh yes, oh yes, all the strategy.
Yeah, definitely. And aside from that, it is fairly international as well. We've previously had guys over in Brisbane, in Sydney, obviously yourself in Melbourne. We've got a couple internationals this year, as well as the Perth boys. So over in Germany and also Finland. So we've got a bit of an international group at the moment. But
bit of international flavour.
It is staying exotic.
Just keeping everyone on their toes. Just a little bit.
Shirt there, Matthew.
Look, my mate, it's funny you mentioned my shirt. The threads you've got on. I mean, I couldn't help but notice. Before we get any further, I suppose we could move into the news segment in a minute. But we want to, let everyone know the news segment that we move into. Very proudly, not brought to you by Dixon Flannel. As you can obviously see, Prime and I, massive fans of the brand.
Huge fans.
Awesome designs, all shapes and sizes, all types of fabrics. Super cool, super accessible. We're obviously big fans of those. From flannel to bamboo, if you need a shirt, they've got the one for you. So, big thanks.
Maybe we could
not
reach out.
Thanks.
Maybe if we make
I think we should.
3 or 4, we can reach out. What do you reckon?
Look, clip this, just send it to them. That's the best slogan they've never come up with.
Yeah.
So it may as well. It's just a free consult. We could send them that.
Hey, look, I know we've talked about Dixon in the past. I've even turned it into corporate attire. So in case you're not aware, you're probably 100% aware. I've been working in a corporate
100% aware
for a very long time now, 15, 20 years, and in my recent times, 1 or 2 years ago, I've actually started really bringing flannel, in particular Dixon flannel, into the office. So much to the confusion of my fellow colleagues, but hey, I'm running with it. That's how much I love the brand. So let's
look. You're a trailblazer. You're a trailblazer, Brian. You always have been. Never afraid to promote your own brand. And I mean, look, I don't know if I could rock the leopard print party shirt as corporate attire. I could certainly try.
Hey,
hey, look.
I think it could work. We had our shirt day today at work, so that would definitely work. That would definitely work.
Look, maybe I need to get a corporate role first before I can try it. I don't know how this translates over the phone to customers. We don't really get a lot of foot traffic with what I do. But look, I don't know if I want to be talking about what I'm wearing. That's not really the job I do either. That's very different. That's Squeak Scolari After Dark. But look, before we get too carried away, big no thanks to Dixon Flannel. But I suppose, we may as well touch on a couple of bits and pieces in the world of NBA before we start talking about fantasy implications, especially draft week. There's been a hell of a lot going on. So what's been reaching out to you, Brian?
What's been reaching out to me? I'll probably start off with a couple of the injuries from my side. So obviously pre-season's been in full swing. Been keeping an eye on it. Obviously a lot of the starters with limited minutes and a few rotation shifts and all sorts like that, but a couple of notable ones for me. Bam Adebayo, so did leave the game early, I believe yesterday with a knee contusion. So just be interested to see whether that's anything serious, because he does have fairly solid implications for Squeak Scolari.
Big time. Yep.
Another big one, definitely in the world of Memphis, is Ja Morant. Obviously did his ankle within the last couple of weeks, and the news is he's looking good for opening night, so that's positive from that sense. They've had a bit of a reshuffle, and obviously he's been in and out of the lineup throughout the previous season. So for his sake and for Memphis' sake, I hope he does start opening night and give them every opportunity to start on the right foot, so to speak.
Good on Tish. I mean, look, two guys injury-wise, there's obviously plenty of that going on with the injury reporting with the last remaining preseason games, people, he didn't play the rest of the game, he's sitting, all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of implications there, but you talk about Adebayo and Ja Morant, which we'll touch on more as the episode goes along, but two big names that are going to be highly sought after probably in the next couple of days. Ja in particular, I mean, there's a lot of guys in the draft pool. It's going to be really exciting, and there's some two big names in there. Injuries have an impact. Ja, I mean, personal and sporting and professional stuff, he's obviously had a hell of a lot going on, which we don't need to go on about. But dude throws himself around a basketball court. So if he can kind of get that under control and get a little bit more physically sustainable, he's going to have a big year.
Yeah. Well, I hope so. By the way, guys, any off-season trades ready? I do have Ja Morant on my list, so yeah, just letting you know, a couple of days left if you want to trade for Ja.
Look, never too late to peddle a deal. We're talking about foxing, but you got to still show some cards in terms of what you got.
That's right.
Look,
anything?
Probably another one. Look, probably another injury. I mean, if you want to just keep the injury bowl stuff going on, that's a shout out to Darcy. You were mentioning before we started recording, Keegan Murray, UCL tear, in his left thumb, I think.
Yeah.
Horrible timing for that because he was kind of slated to have a pretty big impact with that Kings roster, but
horrible timing for Sacramento in general, considering what they've done in the off season.
Dude, what are they doing? I don't understand what they're doing.
I think they've lit the beam, and the beam has just gone straight through the list and straight to the front office, and it's just flicking around and going. I have no idea, mate. They're on a reasonable trajectory for a couple of seasons there, and they look to have pivoted quite heavily.
That trajectory has taken another very wild turn. I mean, it's moving on straight to another bit of Kings news, which I kind of wanted to float. Russell Westbrook has found himself a home somehow for his 18th season. I mean, look, I don't know. I don't know with Russ. I mean, probably an interesting guy to talk about, I suppose, with fantasy implications and context to our league. I've always found, I've never been overly enamoured with him, that whole garbage time stuff, at least when you're sitting on a couch watching a game of basketball. But in the world of fantasy, that takes on completely different meaning, and you're purely looking at the box score and the numbers that they produce and how they impact. And he, for all he's worth and to his credit, has really remained quite productive for a really long time. I think it's his 18th season, which is just ridiculous. Considering how his body has held up during that time and how he's managed to keep it going. Look, I mean, definitely getting on in years. It's a really interesting move given people they've got on the team. But hey, it sounds like they wanted a bit of enthusiasm and a bit of aggression. They're going to get it.
Yeah, they seem to be scraping the barrel a bit with their latest free agent signings. I mean, and also I guess just adding to what you've said about the confusion to his signing, you had a few people that in Squeaks would have been selected as, I guess, backup point guards on our fantasy rosters. People like Dennis Schroeder that would be looked at. I'll say bottom of the barrel stuff because they're not like really, really high scorers, but Westbrook coming in is going to torpedo that value even further to the point where are they going to be bottom of your list stuff, or are they just going to be waiver fodder again?
For sure, but don't lose sight. And for those at home, the many millions of listeners we've got from the Squeak Scolari network, it's a 16-team league. It's deep, right? You've got to be looking and paying attention to these guys, whether they're not scoring many points or not. They're all important. And this blows it wide open, especially for the guards. I mean, Malik Monk as well is another one. It's going to be really crazy what they're going to do with usage because it's such a big factor. But yeah, going to be really, really interesting. Probably the only other one, the news item I wanted to bring up, because there's still some injury stuff going on. There's a couple of people being monitored. Will they? Won't they start? I think probably a bit closer to home with the Knicks. Malcolm Brogdon actually choosing to retire so close to the start of the season. I thought that was a bit of an interesting call. You compare that to Russ, in his 18th year. I think Brogdon's played 9, maybe 10. But, he achieved a hell of a lot. If he's decided that's the move he wants to make, then, so be it. It kind of has a little bit of an impact with depth for the Knicks. It'll be a bit interesting to see what they do and who they bring in. There's a couple of guys on Twitter posting some clips of Oladipo playing, I think, in Asia somewhere, and absolutely cleaning up and going, hey, maybe the roster fine. Fine. By the way, Brogdon's not playing anymore. Roster spot's open. But look, outside of that, I mean, Brogdon's had a great career. Good on him. He's made the call that's best for him.
Yeah. Look, some people really have some significant interests outside of basketball. So, to be so talented, hey?
Well, yeah, exactly right. Yeah. I mean, look, it's hard being this awesome, as you know, are you no doubt aware. It's really hard to be such just a broadly talented, nuanced, eclectic human being. But hey, look, it's one of those things. They're going to pick up the pieces and figure it out. I'm sure they'll bring someone in.
Look, it was a surprising article for me to read that, but great career in the, well, I would say, albeit limited time, but did really well. It's a shame that he couldn't keep cracking with the Knicks. They did have a really. Well, they still do. I would consider them.
Still do. Hang on. Malcolm Brogdon does not a Knicks roster mate. Let's not get carried away.
Yeah, I understand that.
But still
deeper than last year. Yeah. That's for sure.
Look, he was one of those guys they brought in the last few months, and we're going, ooh, okay, interesting, bit of depth, some sensible calls, which is not what the Knicks have been known for a long time.
Are we going to use the bench this year? Is that something that the
well, Thibodeau's out that way, so mate, we might not even have. By the sounds of things, we might not even have a playbook, let alone what the depth chart's going to look like. But look, I think probably the biggest thing, really interesting timing. We are a week away from the start of the season, so definitely not what I was expecting, and it's definitely going to impact the draft for sure, because he would have been on people's boards,
definitely.
Regardless of his scoring. So, I mean, with that, I suppose, anything else you wanted to touch on news-wise? Or would want to kind of go,
Yeah, the last two items, obviously, most people will be aware. LBJ, LeBron's out for a month or two with his sciatica, aka being over 40. So, look, I can relate to that. But I'll go into that in a second. So
I can relate to that, and I'm 34. Like, never mind being 40. What are you talking about?
Matt. God, I'll say Cowie. You've asked me to call you.
Yeah,
I'll call you Cowie.
Call me Cowie. Call me Cowie.
Last night, 9:30 game. I did decide to fill in. I am in my 40s. I can relate to playing basketball at 40. Do I play with the size and athleticism that someone like LeBron does? Definitely not. And I did make mention to the other team that wait till you get to my age. But So,
look, when you say you don't have the level of size and athleticism, it's only like a little bit of a difference. It's not, if we put you and LeBron in the same room, you're looking at the same kind of physical stature. There's no.
Mate, my jump shot last night, I reckon I got about an inch and a half off the floor. So yeah.
Look, do you want me to get my knee ice packs I've got in the freezer? Like, I've got them ready to go post game, just chuck them straight on.
Post podcast, yeah.
Post pod, yes, it's for the vocal cords, yeah.
And the other one was just Garland. He's just returning from surgery for the Cavs, so he'll probably miss the first 2 or 3 weeks of the season. So expecting that to be reflected in his auction price on Saturday. But still valuable addition to any team that picks him up in our 16-team league. So
absolutely. Look, he'll take a little bit of a hit auction price wise, but right call to do it now. It's not going to completely. It's just a bit of a slightly late start. I mean, not going to impact hugely. So we'll see what happens with Darius.
It's going to be good. Cavs are going to be good. So.
Oh, well, dude, but I mean, you gotta go through the postseason. You got to do it. Like, regular season, yes, they cleaned house, but they've got to do a hell of a lot better than they did last season.
That's isn't that the conspiracy with the Clippers and Kawhi? So if the league decides to suspend him for all this dodgy sponsorship stuff, isn't that the owner's way of saying, all right, no worries, we'll take the 40-50 game suspension. Kawhi, you can play 10-20 at the end of the season, be fresh for the postseason.
That might be the only way we see him play more than a 1-game stretch.
Yep, that's it.
Maybe it might actually be Kawhi. Oh God, still so savagely burned by that man.
I know.
God.
Right. Well, that's basically it for news for me. If you're happy to, I'd be happy to work into Squeaks Draft Day and also segue into our keeper grades section. So we are tonight going to go through each 16 teams within the Squeak Scolari Trophy. We're going to name them, not by their fantasy basketball name. We will name them.
Well, no, because that hasn't been decided yet. Because that's the whole thing. We'll be probably talking about that next week.
It hasn't, but when I load this onto YouTube, I have to select whether or not this is applicable to children, and I would like to select that. So that's the main reason. That's the main reason.
So we're all on notice. You're checking the box. If anything happens, it's on them.
That is. So, so we will name each team. We'll go through their 4 and in one case 3 keepers and their auction position, their draft spend for Saturday. And I'm going to grade them. Do you want to grade with me?
Rock and roll, dude. Yeah, what do you got? Yep.
So how about we just jump straight into the grades? Actually, we hit on draft day a little bit earlier, so I think we should just hit into the grades, and we'll kick this off with Jeremy, our young Jeremy Sticks, as we like to call him, for his giant
because he's so jacked.
Stature. Yeah.
Yes. He's got really, really big muscles. Yeah.
Really, really big muscles.
Big frame.
Yes, that's it.
Good for jumping.
So, Jeremy is taking through Lonzo Ball, Asar Thompson.
LaMelo. What
a start.
See, what a start. You know what? Did I not say this to you before we started recording? I said, right, I'm going to have the little screenshot that Eric, one of our commissioners, put in our group chat earlier today because there's been some really last-minute changes to this. I was looking at it going,
Chris.
CJ. Fucking CJ. But I've got that there, and I said to you, no, I'm going to open up our master spreadsheet that we have, and everything in it, because it's got the full names. And on it, and the first one I saw, I'm like, no, is it Lonzo? No, it's not Lonzo, it's LaMelo.
Maybe it was one of those errors I was deliberately putting in for Adam to pick up on again.
Oh, see, maybe. See, I took the bait. I was too keen. All
right, so we have LaMelo Ball. I did get the Thompson right, Asar Thompson.
You did get the Thompson right.
Franz Wagner and Rudy Gobert. So, if you are aware from episode 1, we touched on some of our scoring. So efficiency-based points, but we do reward double-doubles and triple-doubles, so hence you'll see a bit of that flavour rolling through. Now, we'll keep saying it over and over again. We're not advocating for whether or not this is better as a scoring system than anyone else's, because I've played the majority.
It is. Sorry, keep going.
Leagues, 8-cat, 9-cat, straight points, our point system, a whole bunch of other stuff. We love this, but you will see a flavour of keepers that will promote some of the scoring, obviously. So that is Jeremy's 4 keepers, and of his $200 max cap he can pull through, he is starting with a draft spend of $133. So that essentially for me, if I was going to grade Jeremy's position, I'd give that a B. So in my mind, 133 is a reasonable starting position. Definitely not the lowest. It doesn't give you a massive spend, but he's got solid positions across SG, SF, PF, and centre. So he's got a nice balanced roster. He's got some, top, what we'd probably consider round 3, round 4 type selections. A rookie that he's bringing through in Asar Thompson, which has some seriously high upside, and with Minnesota's presence in the league, Rudy Gobert's still a key component of that, and gives you the ability to hit efficient double doubles, which gives you solid scoring. So yeah, I'd
Beautiful.
be from that.
Rock and roll. Look, while you're doing the general coverage, I can go page by page. Do you want me to do like an individual price breakdown for those keepers, just in terms of how much that value is?
Yep, that'd be very beneficial because
cool. So, well, yeah, perfect. I'm happy to do that.
Make one comment is because we set it up on a contract basis. So what you spend in the draft on these players will become their contract value for their 2 or 3 year contract option, and that plays a big part in getting that cost effectiveness in setting up your draft position.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, it's what I love so much about this league. Proper dynasty stuff. Like it all counts. Yeah. Probably the only thing I'd add in terms of how much he's got to start the draft, he had a little bit of rollover from last season, which certainly kind of contributes to his starting cap. So you have your base $200, but whatever you kind of roll over from the previous season, if you've saved your pennies, that all contributes as well. But in terms of the 4 keepers that he's going with, he's got the total spend of $88, which pretty high, I would say, like looking through the list of the teams and the total value of some of the keepers that we've got. But considering the spread, I think, Sticks is in a really good spot. You've got LaMelo Ball, he's got at $42. And this is all, again, valuable context for the millions and billions now of listeners at home. I just saw the live ticker turnover. LaMelo Ball at $42. He's got Asar Thompson at $1 because that was his rookie pick from 23-24, and we'll touch on all of that later on as we start to go through a little bit of a rookie class breakdown just of how that all works. So we still got him for $1 there, which is obviously mad value, but such an awesome part of our league. Wagner has got at $17, and then Gobert, which I think, because we're talking about big guys and usage and double doubles and triple doubles and rebounds and that kind of effectiveness, he's got Gobert at $31, which is a steal. Sticks is in a really good spot. B's very fair.
Yeah, and most will probably say, okay, Rudy Gobert, $33, that's quite expensive, but you're coming from a double-double league, you're going to get that some of those efficient, high rebounding, high block getting big men are going to give you some quick points in that space, regardless of whether they're running an offense. So $30 is still, it's around the money there. Yep.
I mean, some of the numbers you'll see as we go through this list, 31's very good value. People obviously like to splash the cash and make them pay. We gave it the name of the podcast for a reason, folks. But he's in such a great spot given just general spread of value and the quality of the players he's got positionally as well. Would you say, let's do some of these big sporting terms, would you say Sticks is in win now mode?
I'd say he's in win now. Yep, he was
win now.
Yeah, he's in win now. Three of those guys there. I mean, obviously Thompson has the upside. He's ridden the wave, so to speak, on keeping him for a couple of years until he actually starts to develop. But he's committed to Wagner. Obviously, they've bolstered their stocks in Orlando. We'll see how that usage plays out. Ball is going to be the bell cow, really, to use an NFL term, at Charlotte.
Yep.
I mean, he's the only one with the ball.
Literally.
Yeah, and I think having 2 high-priced keepers, excuse me, and Wagner, he's in there now.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yep, absolutely. No, he's in a really, really good spot. Who we got next, Brian? We got Bebo.
We have Kane Bevington, the Hawaiian master.
The Hawaiian master from Finland.
The Hawaiian master from Finland, yeah. Well, yeah, we'll just leave it at that. Look, it'll all make sense when he comes on and we'll interview him, and it'll all make sense, but we'll leave him as a man of mystery for now. So Kane starts with $166 in the kitty to spend on draft day, which is a little bit more than Jeremy. He is taking through effectively two RD guys in Reed Shepherd and Amen Thompson. He follows that up with Josh Giddey, and you can correct me if I'm wrong because I'm going off initials, Mark Williams.
Yes, no, you are correct. You got it.
Cool. So, yeah, look, a bit of a spread there. He's Josh Giddey seems to be the one not only running point, but running point on his team for now. He's a very, very much a double-double, triple-double provider on a regular basis. He did get the contract. It looks like he's going to get the usage. He's running up all draft boards on points and category leagues across the board. So I think that's a good selection to pull him in. Amen Thompson as well, skyrocketing in popularity. I mean, the Fred injury is going to cause him to increase his usage, and potentially if Shepherd doesn't fully get the keys or only plays a 25-minute role, then Amen will probably handle a lot more of the ball, I would say.
Absolutely. That's probably the only thing you'd be a little bit wary of. Yes, it's only a $2 cap hit because they're two rookies that he's got at $1 each. Pretty positively, well, questionably, I suppose, pretty heavily leveraged in that direction, just with that roster, because there's going to be impacts there that you're going to be hitting more than one player at a time. Yeah. And one might be benefiting when the other one won't be. So a little bit interesting with his keeper choices. Yeah. But yeah, Kane is going to be pretty much rounded out the season, having spent all of his bickies. He was starting at pretty much an even 200. So we go straight from an $88 keeper position with sticks. Kane's total value is $34. But we kind of knew that going in based on the breakdown of what you were just going through, Prime. So Amen Thompson and Reed Shepherd, $1 each as rookies. Mark Williams at $15, which I think, he's got himself in a pretty interesting position this year. Yep. If he can kind of get his body right. And then Josh Giddey at $17.
That's a good one.
Really good value. I think probably a longer picture, like later stage kind of position.
I just love the fact that Eric could not hold his patience with Giddey during the season. Was it last year?
Yeah.
I've got to get rid of him. Rage traded him out, and then suddenly he's found himself in a beautiful landing spot and landed the contract. And I mean, the Bulls don't tend to know what they're doing when they're setting up a list, but if they've given him this money, they're going to give him some usage, and he's started to show that from a fantasy perspective. So I love it that it's landed in Kane's lap. Just the Kane and Eric interaction. I love it. It's classic.
Oh dear, what did Eric say in the group chat earlier today? That the hate that binds the league together.
Oh yeah.
Just the vitriol and the rivalries, but. Oh, look, I mean, yeah, Giddey's been embraced by the people in Chicago, and it's such a great spot for him. He's loving it there. It certainly looks like it.
And not that I condone injuries, but I'm pretty sure I heard that Kane tweeted Fred and said, "Oh, thank you so much. Look, I've got two players. I'm set up beautifully now. Enjoy your recovery. I'll see you next year. I'll look for you in the draft in 26-27."
Did he get a reply, though? We're going to have to get a response from Kane. We'll see if he got a reply. Maybe like, "Oh, you're welcome, dude." Yeah. Van Vliet giving him the finger, the international man of mystery. Look, Kane, in a good spot value-wise, obviously hasn't spent as much. There is very decent output there. Going to be very interesting to see what he does, seeing as this is another year where Blake Griffin is no longer available. He's obviously going to be devastated by that news. He's going to have to completely revise his drafting strategy. So, a couple of things to look out for who he goes with. I mean, still got decent amount of kitty to spend in the draft, but we'll see.
On that note, I'm going to give an A- to Kane, only for the fact that he's still got the 166 and Gideon Thompson on the rise. Look, that's the only separating factor. I feel like Jeremy's got a better keeper base, but the extra money in the draft, but still retaining a solid balance with his keepers, has just elevated that grade for me up. So.
Look, I'd probably keep him at around a B, much like Sticks, only for me. And please, this is from someone that historically in the league has the worst best finish. So do as I say, not as I do. Definitely no body of work to go off, but it doesn't. Got to be known for something. Well, the viewers, the many trillions of viewers now, they'll find out about that. Wearing Dixon and doing press conferences, they will make a comeback. I can confirm that. It doesn't fully sit right with me that he's pretty heavily leveraged with two guys that are really trying hard to make minutes and have an impact on a roster with a big opportunity there.
That's good.
I just see it. I see it happening that one's going to lose out over the other, and that's just not going to help with your keepers. So he might be having some pretty hard conversations, this time next season. Might work out great for both of them. You don't know. It just doesn't sit quite so right with me. So I'd probably say a B.
And look, I'm happy to come down if we reached consensus, but I'll stick with my A now, just because we've got a conflict.
Oh, for sure.
Things, yeah.
That's it, mate. Don't have to agree on everything.
All right. Who's next up? I believe on my list it is Cowie.
Yours truly.
You do the honours of listing who your keepers are. Because
perfect. I'll do the honours. Okay. My four keepers. I've got Jared Allen. I've got Josh Hart. I have Norman Powell, who I was so chuffed with last year, and Donovan Clingan from the Blazers. That rounds out my four keepers, which have got me the princely sum of $57, which I'm pretty happy with. But yeah, I mean, I'll be going into the draft with 154 to spend, so definitely in the right kind of wheelhouse. Not as much as some, but I think $57 for me, I think I've spent it pretty well in terms of contract length and some of the guys that I've got. Jared Allen is the last remaining player, which was like post-trade. Well, he was part of a trade, but he's the last remaining chapter of a trade where I actually moved on from Luka Doncic, because I had Doncic as a rookie. Loved those very 3 fruitful years at $1 value, decided to match for the team option, which just got very, very expensive. And do I regret it? Possibly, but managed to leverage that in a way, moved him on and kind of spread that into some slightly different positional impact. But Jared, like Allen, I've still got, he's $27 for me, which is so good. I mean, if we look at, I think I've got it in one of the other spreadsheets here. If we look at the ranking, like the fantasy rankings with our league from last season, what was he? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he was 10th, I think, 10th or 11th, something like that. Jared Allen, top 10 center in the league for $27 for me, I think is great value. Josh Hart, who I actually won an award for last year in terms of value and output, I've got him at $18. I mean, there's a couple of different reasons for that. I'm a Knicks fan, so his grit, his aggression, his enthusiasm, his impact, obviously great as a Knicks fan. They're not really tangible from a fantasy context, but the dude plays 1 million minutes, gets boards well above his size and his pay grade, and the dude works hard on the court, like impacts a lot, especially with boards and stuff like that. $18, huge value. Powell I brought in at $11, who was a little bit of a late round flyer for me last year in the draft. Just managed to find himself in such a fantastic situation last season with the Clippers, with some injuries and just the seas opening for him to kind of clean up, which he did. I'm still really positive on him in his situation with the Heat. I think it's still going to be really, really positive for him. And Clean at $1. Yeah, he's of the two Blazers rookies I've had over the years, he's definitely the better one of the two. Scoot can walk on home.
Yep.
He can, but same thing. Klingon is in such a great position. He's going to make, I think, a really big step this season. His sophomore year. I'm really happy with my position. I think I need to be more aggressive in this draft to really capitalise on that because I haven't spent a huge amount. Normally, I try to be a bit frugal with some questionable decisions sprinkled in there. But I'd be keen to know what you think. I think it's the tail end of that post Luca era. I'm happy with where I'm at. I've got to kind of swing for the fences a bit more in the draft and get some of the guys that I know that I want.
Yeah, and I can see that. I've listed you down as a B as well with Jeremy. The reason that I've done that, a very good position in terms of draft spend available to you, and I can see the methodology between your four, balancing those guys out on sort of mid to low tier contracts, and for the most part, they're efficient players that go close to that double. You've got a shooter in power that is that was amazing towards the end of last year.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, there's some questions like does Power's shooting efficiency stick? Does Hart's minutes stick? And look,
well, yep.
Those are two for me that I think are question marks, but I really. Some people will turn around and say, Power was in a better position last year. Have you seen the Heat? I'm a Heat supporter. We, as a franchise, cannot lose, but we also cannot win.
Yep.
We're struggling. We're sort of fading into mediocrity a bit. But look, with the hero injury, a little bit of time out, he's going to be a key offensive weapon. Sorry, I'm recovering from a bit of a cough and a throat thing, so great day to be back.
Are you good?
So I think early season you're going to see some solid usage and some solid offensive production from Power, and hopefully that embeds him into the offense so that when Hero's back, there'll be more of a balance than what Hero did last season.
That's the plan. I mean, look for I think for $18, Hart's in particular, his productivity is going to take a hit if he does end up in the second rotation. It's the better thing for the team probably, but he'll still perform way above $18. That's probably the other elephant in the room that I need to acknowledge. So we're talking about Allen being a top 10 center. Hart at $18 was the second best shooting guard in the league with our scoring system last year. So the dude was an absolute steal, and I'm so happy to still keep him. Look, hey, I'll take a B. I was probably going to be a little bit more harsh on myself, maybe purely just because there are still some implications and some question marks there, but I would say mainly more that I do need to be more aggressive to bolster them. And actually just get them a better supporting cast for the season.
I feel like the work's got to be done in the draft. I think you've got a balanced keeper position. No superstars at the moment, and but you're in a good position to be able to really attack the draft. So
beautiful.
Good luck to your substitute.
Oh yeah, thank you, thank you very much. He's going to need it. Shall we move on to Mr. EO Sports?
Mr. EO Sports. I think this is his game. So for everyone listening, Brett's nickname is EO, that's hence us calling him EO, and we'll touch on some of his lottery escapades in a later section. Brett is taking through Lou Dort, Vassell, Mattis Bucelis, and his superstar in Anthony Davis after the trade to Dallas. So he's starting with essentially three cheapies and a big dog in Anthony Davis, and he's starting with 174 with his draft spend. So you could really see how he's trying to take one of his superstars that's been on his roster and then maximise the rest of his draft spend for the day. by trying to hit a couple of either upside guys or very, very cheap guys that he can sort of, fill out the rest of his roster and really hit some talent in the draft.
Yeah, for sure. Look, I mean, when Davis is consistently playing, obviously one of the top contributors anywhere that you'll find, had a bit of a rough end to the season last season.
Yeah, and someone turned the aircon up, didn't they? Or something.
Someone did the Oh God, I mean, tempered glass, I suppose, has its properties. But look, injury prone. Are we going to go that far with Anthony Davis? They're big question marks there. But you can see then the contrast: $59 on one keeper, and then $1 each for your remaining three. Yep. That's the position he's in. Look, Dort for $1, I think, is really good. Purcell, yes. Bazelis too. Like they're all quality players. It evens itself out in a really grand scheme. Look, Io's in a decent spot. He's not afraid to splash a bit of cash, as you can clearly see, but it just depends the kind of guys that he's going to end up bringing. His draft strategy, you could probably say, follows that theme with his keepers. A little bit more of a contrasting kind of scale of your big end guys and then whoever you can afford at the end. That works for some, and it's definitely worked for him before. Just depends if he can back it up, and it's such a trope, really, but depends if Davis can stay healthy.
Yeah, yep. Look, in terms of grades, and it'll probably pay me to say it again, we're only doing it in this order purely because it's it's last name alphabetical, but I've landed on a B again. Now, I feel like yourself, Jeremy, and Brett do have fairly similar, if we're going to grade them, fairly similar positions, but you're doing different things. So Jeremy balancing out some heavy keepers with a bit of a low spend. You've got a sort of a mid-tier spend with some mid-tier keepers. Brett with some really, really cheap keepers +1 primo and a very, very high spend. Different strategies. I feel like it's still balancing out. I think you roll that out in the wash and you're going to come up with a fairly similar list. And I feel like across the board you're going to see some exceptions to the rule through here. But this year, as we've built through expansion from 12 to 16 team league, and people getting an understanding of the setup, everyone's really clicking into gear about what it means to draft, how important it is to balance your roster, and it's showing in the way that people are coming out with these grades. I know somewhat subjective,
big time.
Everyone's doing a slightly different thing, but it's good on paper. So
for sure. Look, I suppose I would probably go a little bit lower, but again, they're my preconceptions, my preferences with my approach, which you can see in the contrast. That's what makes this all really special. Look, I'd probably say like a C+, maybe.
I value the draft spend. That's what. For me,
for sure.
If we were going to grade his keeper position, definitely. C, or if you want to put the risk of Davis in there, you could even go even lower than that. But the fact that he's got 174, if he has a good draft, obviously subjective with the draft, if he has a good draft and he plugs Davis into there and he's already got his three lower end guys sorted, we could be talking about a very different team.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. Look, Davis is the big question mark for me. Look, both in, maybe not so much value, but just, longevity. So, a lot of what's contributing to that 174, he's got a $62 total spend with his keepers, but he had a $42 rollover from the season previous. So spent wisely. But I think for me, that contrast bit, I don't know, like it's maybe just because it's what I'm really trying to do with my drafts is I try to raise the floor as opposed to raising the ceiling. I want to try and spread the love, spread the wealth.
All right,
it depends.
Because I know Brett's going to watch this. We've downgraded you to a C+, Brett. So sucked in.
Oh dear.
To our
sucked
subjective
in.
grades and I hope you do well on Saturday.
So. There you go. And clip it. Oh, dear. Okay. Well, look, I suppose now we're going to be hopping over to the reigning champ. That's a sore point. We can paint a bit of a picture there, Mr. Beginner's Luck, Mr. David Ivicevic, reigning champ. My goodness, look, I mean,
he's not
just
a reigning champ. What are you talking about?
Oh dear, look. Well, not. I suppose it's not this year. A once upon a time owner of Mr. Nikola Jokic.
Oh, this is the post-Joker era.
Yeah, this is the post-Joker era. I mean, he had everything handed to him on a silver platter, so he probably felt like the reigning champ. I think that's kind of the vibes that he gives out. Yeah. He had everything. Yeah, look, that's debatable with expansions and resource allocation. Starts the season with $230. His total keeper position is $83. Mm-hmm. Now it's a damn sight less, I'm guessing, without Mr. Jokic. Mm-hmm. But his four keepers, he's got Jalen Brunson at $4, which is just. I mean, I'm biased, but my God, $4 for that kind of value. Jimmy Butler with a little bit of the opposite end of that, questionable value at $45. That's a big hit for that kind of money. Desmond Bain at $28, which again, some question marks with his recent move and how that's going to play out for him. But any previous sins are all forgiven with the way that it's lining up this year. Derek White at $6 is beautiful quality. That quality value. That is just like prime, absolute, proper positioning with the Celtics in the position they are. Mm-hmm. Look, it'll be really interesting to see how he goes again post Joker era. So it's all coming home to roost. He's got to walk the walk now, Mr. Davo. We'll see what happens. Oh, geez, I don't like the Butler contract. I really don't like it because to me, look, 3 years ago, that's great value. I don't know if his current position. Let's see if he can make it happen with the Warriors, but they've got a whole bunch of stuff going on. The Derek White and Brunson ones, they far outweigh. I'd probably go. I'd go a B, probably like a B, maybe B minus.
Sounds good.
What do you reckon?
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I was pretty close to that, so we'll do that.
Yep.
I'm just did a bit of a time check, so we've been.
We might have to do this in two parts. I was half thinking
either that, or we can speed it up a little bit. I think the boys will want to listen to their keeper grades prior to the draft. So
for sure. Yeah.
Roll through the next ones in about 15 minutes. I think we'll be happy.
Yep. Done. Not a problem. Let's do it. We'll do the speed read.
Christopher Johnson.
Mr. CJ.
All right, starting with Dyson Daniels, Braun from the Denver Nuggets, Tari Eason, and some guy called, was it Victor Wembanyama? Oh, have you heard of him?
No. Is that some kind of music festival?
Yeah, no, I thought Lawnmower? No.
No. Wemby.
Wemby.
Yes. It's that gymnastics move. That's it. That's right. That's what it is. Yeah, I forgot.
Very good.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay. So Mr. Victor's not going anywhere anytime soon. He's going to hang on to Wemby by the skin of his teeth. Yes, CJ. That's it. Give him a dollars breakdown, Prime. How's he sitting?
He's at 195, I believe. Is that? He has. He's managed to keep. He got real lucky outbidding me for Dyson Daniels last year in the draft because I was on my last legs after I spent on rubbish players like Kyle Kuzma, but. That was my own fault. So yeah, he's picked him up for about for what was it, $7 or $8? I can't even remember what the exact. $6 for Dyson. Yeah, so he's got Eason.
What have we got? Actually, no, I tell a lie. $7. Yeah.
And so when you've got those three guys cheap, and you're taking Victor Wembanyama through as your $1 keeper, this is proof of how the rookie system works in our league. this gives CJ such a leg up that he can take a guy that would normally be picked in the top couple through for $1 and still retain $195 of his maximum 200 that he can bring through. It puts him in a decent position.
Oh, look, for me, I would say far above decent. I'd give CJ an A. In terms of his keeper position, how he's had pretty sustained success in our league. Christian Braun was a very, very late switch with his keeper position, probably a couple of hours before we started recording. Was it? I keep forgetting which George. I think it was Kaishawn George. He ended up switching out. He was kind of umming and ahhing and made a bit of a call. Look, Braun is in such a great spot in Denver. He had a really good season last year. So he's got Daniels at $7, Eason at $6, and Braun and Wemby at $1 each. That's going to be far and away. It is far and away for $15. That is the lowest keeper position, but the most amount of output. It's an A from me.
Yeah, no worries. I'll hold you with that one. I think he's done well. Let's see if Dyson Daniels can hold his production. That was a extremely high outlier season with the steals.
Yep.
And obviously Atlanta didn't have too much there. They brought a couple of new pieces in. Hopefully for the rest of us, it slices a bit of Daniel's usage, but and Wemby obviously spent some time on the pine last year, so if he can stay healthy, it'll be good. But it is, I feel like it's Wemby gets hit with injury at some point and may expose him, but with 195, I think he should be able to build something in the draft as well. CJ
kicks my ass because of the players he's got, and it's always pretty tough to see Wemby scoring very well against you. That sucks. But look, never mind his stature and his physical attributes. For the sake of the league, I hope he doesn't. He's got some giraffe vibes about him. I hope he stays in shape because he's just so good to watch. Look, and I think I'll probably just say really quickly, because we've got to try and up the pace, I suppose. The Daniels thing for me, very similar to Josh Hart. His impact will take a hit in his scoring, but he's still going to far outweigh the $7 that he's worth.
100%.
CJ's in a ripper spot. Now, let's contrast that. The next one down the line, Mr. Darcy Knott. Here's a very different numerical readout, but, kind of a little bit conflicting in some spots, I suppose. So he started this season with $256. He had 38 from rollover from last year. His keeper position, $110. So massive outlay for his keepers compared to some of the previous ones that he's seen, but especially compared to $15.
He's been able to do that because
he has
how terribly he performed last season.
The tank was in full effect. Full effect, ladies and gentlemen. But here are the four keepers that he's got. Jalen Johnson at $4, which I really like. Alex Sarr was his rookie for $1 from last season. Ivica Zubac at $28. I think still going to be really good value. There are some question marks with how he's going to go in the fit with that roster this year. May take a bit of a hit, we don't know, but still really good value.
I think he's still the number one. Brook Lopez is probably as old as LeBron, so yeah.
Well, yeah, probably, yeah. If he gets sciatica, he's out for 6 months. But then, look, the clear far and away flagship on his roster, he's got SGA at $77, and look, that's a big spend, but it's worth every penny. Say what you will about SGA, but he's absolutely one of those guys where on the stat sheet, which is really where it matters, dude cleans up, absolutely cleans house.
146 to spend in the draft for pretty big time keepers. I think Darcy's up there with one of the best keeper and draft positions he can be in at this stage. So yeah, well done, Darcy. Took a couple of years of tanking, but you got there.
he got there in the end. What would you give Darcy? I'm probably thinking I'd say somewhere B.
Oh, I would go higher. I'd go higher. If we're going
yeah.
I mean, 146 is still a reasonable amount to spend. I just think the balance of his keepers are really strong. I'd slide him into the A's with Chris. I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Cool. Hey, look, if he makes it count, I mean, Darcy's my boy, but he's got to make it. He's got to make it count.
That's right. In contrast, let's talk about Julian. All right. So we have Keontae George. I got that one right. So
you did. Yes, you did.
Brandon Pajemski, Jaren Jackson Jr. Is he keeping Jaren Jackson?
He is. Oh yeah, by the looks of it here.
And Kevin Porter Jr. So he's
got a couple of juniors.
Yep, he's gone with all the juniors and 172.
Big on the juniors.
So look, whilst he's got a solid draft spend, I think he's on the tail end of some of his bigger keeper contracts that expired, and he's been left with his rookie Keontae George, and he's put a few fillers in there in late trade for Kevin Porter Jr. since he was named starter, and taking on Pajemski's sort of six-man role. Jaren's probably his highest profile guy in there, and he's not quite in that top echelon. He's got a reasonable amount to spend, but he's got a bit of digging to do in the draft, I would suggest. Look, if I was going to give him something, this is where I'll probably go nasty, probably a D.
Ouch. Yeah, look, I would go a C, maybe.
Which is fine. Pass mark.
Look, pass mark. Look, very similar situation to EO's roster and his keeper setup. So he's got Jaren Jackson, he's got Triple J at $28, and then Pajemski, Porter Jr. and George at $1 each. Yep. So look, decent enough from them. I mean, the likes of Pajemski with the Warriors, who knows what the hell's going to happen there. Yeah. Definitely a bit of filler in terms of some of the players that he's keeping there. So not so much of a foundation from which he can then draft and build upon that. He'll have some work to do, but guy knows what he's doing. He makes some pretty good moves throughout the season. I'd say Julian's one of the guys. Once there are shifts in playing landscapes and stuff like that, he's normally one that can capitalise quite well. So
he'll dig himself out from that. I think it's
Oh, for sure.
It's a contracting situational place. I think he was trying to dig for the top 8 last season. He was on the tail end there, and he was riding high and all in, and then didn't quite get enough mid-season moves to counteract the fact that he didn't keep pushing. So
he was win yesterday, mate.
Yeah. Very good. All right, let's
win yesterday, mate.
Let's jump on to TJ. So Matt, you can go through TJ's.
Rock and roll. All right, so Mr. TJ McKenzie. Okay, so starts the season with $243. Keeper position very low, but quite frugal with his spending, and I think really, really solid value. So his keepers are just a total of $18. So he'll be going into. Let's have a look here. I think if I'm seeing that right,
he's another one of these players like Julian who were pushing hard last season for playoffs and making moves and not worried about future-proofing their team. And I think not quite making it. Made the finals, obviously, but not quite making it all the way. But then obviously left in that position where some of their contracts expired and they had to look for value.
So many leagues will have it, I'm sure, but it depends. There will be the handful of guys that choose to double down roughly halfway point of the season. It happens in professional sport everywhere. You'll have the guys, you'll have the teams that will shut down for the season, and there'll be other guys that go, okay, cool, let's try and capitalize on that, see if I can grab some of these people and then retool and attack the second half of the season. TJ was definitely one of those. But he goes into the draft with $169 to spend, which is very, very solid. Benedict Mathurin at $11, who is a player I had for quite a while. I mean, the way it's kind of gone, I wish I had him for this season compared to the seasons I had him. Had him as a rookie, I'm pretty sure. And then first couple of years there, look, production was a little sketchy just with the way the roster was. But obviously with Hallie doing his Achilles, the situation's wide open with Miles Turner leaving as well. I think Mathurin's in such a great position. He's got him at $11, which I think is going to be really good value with this season. Trey Murphy the third at $4, Hartenstein at $2, which is just so good. I'm such a big fan of that. And he's got Dijon Mustard. He's got DeJounte Murray at $1. Look, I think a bit of an IR stash really, which totally fair. He's got him at $1. I mean, there's really no harm in doing that. Look, his roster makeup from last season was pretty solid. Made the decision to let Stephen Curry go back into the draft, which a little bit interesting, but made the right call, I think, for the sake of his keepers and keeping someone like Murray on there. Look, it depends how the season starts, I think, for TJ, because if he finds himself in the same kind of position as last year and then having to try and, retool and capitalise, he could certainly do it, but that's a pretty tense situation. All depends on the start. I'd probably go like a C+ or a B-.
Yeah, I think C+ for him. Look, he's got it's kind of a tale of individual contracts versus his holistic makeup. So the Trey Murphy and Hartenstein value is amazing. He's made the choice to take an injured player through. I think he's seeing the future state. So from an overall perspective, he's really got the ability now with his positioning to bounce back, but he has to hit in the draft. So he's got that set up. He's got Trey and Hartenstein, the DeJounte Murray. When he comes back, for the value that he's got him now that he picked him up from being injured, that becomes the third value contract, and he can then build a deeper team around that. So I think he's in a decent position. It may not be an early season deep position, but I think towards the end of the season we'll see him hit his straps.
He's made a bit of noise in the group chat. Some guys he's really big on. If he can get his hands on them, look, we'll see what happens. He might actually. Oh, look, for sure. I mean, but as we all have, I certainly haven't enough because I don't know what I'm doing. Don't listen to me. But yeah, I think that's the fun part, regardless of the level of depth of prep that you do. He's found players that he wants and he's high on them. That's what it's all about. That's the fuel. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what TJ does. Prime, I'll let you do a run through of Mr. Benny Offerings.
All right, we'll try and I know we keep saying this. We'll try and get through this a little bit quicker, but Benny O. So we've got Cowie, we have Brandon Miller, we have Paolo Banchero, and Ricochet. So Ben has gone with a effectively Miller as his RD pick, and Cowie, he loves Cowie, regardless of the injury risk there. He's also got Ricochet, I believe. Can you confirm that's one of his other RD picks? Is that right?
That is his other RD pick. So total spend for his keepers. So starts at an even 200. His keepers are worth $77 with 123 to spend in the draft. Yep. He's got Banchero at 55. He's got Cowie at. That's the big hit. I mean, Cowie, it kind of offsets, obviously, with his question marks there, but he's got him at $20. Yep. Brandon Miller at $1. And is it Risaka? I don't know how you... Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire sauce. I don't know how you pronounce it properly. Should probably do a bit of... Wash your sister. I should probably do a bit of research. He's got him at $1 as well. So opposite ends of the scale with some pricey ones, some cheap ones. It's heavy bias, but I can give a rating because I'm on a podcast, so he can start his own podcast and talk about what he wants. But the questions about Cowie, I don't know. I don't like it. I've been burnt by him before. Obviously, so much in the lead up to the season off court and all the administrative front office stuff. I don't know. I think it's a risky spot to be in. Banchero and Miller, I'm very big on. They're such good picks. Banchero was great last year for him. Yep. Miller's in a really good spot. Outside of that, I'd probably go C.
I'd go C as well, only because, I do like some of the individual players, but question marks for me. Injury risk, obviously, Brandon Miller coming off a couple of sort of ramp up years, yet to be amazing throughout a whole season. Ricochet just coming off his rookie year, and Banchero, I think this is where the hit is. The low draft spend for me is as a result of Ben matching in our rookie RD bidding from last season. So I think that's given him a bit of a hit. He may need to be frugal to balance this roster out in the draft, but we'll see how that goes. Happy
Beautiful. All right, Prime.
Oh.
Prime, up to you. Talk us through your team, mate.
Talk us through my team. So, all right. Bit of situational positioning for my keepers from last year, but we'll start with my RD Bub Carrington at PGSG, Jalen Williams from OKC. We've got Evan Mobley via trade last year, and Onyeka Okongwu. I've been waiting about 5 years for Okongwu to fire, and I've taken him through at a reasonable value of $21. But we'll see if it happens again.
Still waiting.
I thought we were on the straight and narrow, and then of course they bring in Porzingis. So we'll see how that goes.
Still waiting. Yeah.
Look, I've spent a bit on my keepers, so I've got Mobley at 45, Williams at 28 with my RD silent bid, and Okongwu at 21. Carrington's my rookie at $1. I started just over the $200 mark, and I've got 118 to spend. So I've got to be reasonably frugal in the draft, but if you balance out the positions of Williams, Mobley, and Okongwu, and what they do in our league, I feel like I've got a fairly deep keeper position, and with Washington's, I know Washington picked up another guard in the draft, but what Bub showed last season was pretty damn good, I thought, and I feel like he can really show that year two jump. So that's what I'm hoping for. And I usually find a way to navigate my way through the draft. So I don't mind having around that $120 to spend. I really do rate Mobley. I targeted him in a trade last season, and I'm just hoping that he does translate some of those basketball drills on an athletics track into the court, and start ramping up that average from 30 to mid 30s, and that'll really help. So I don't know. I still feel like I'm somewhere around a B, but I'll let you go.
Yeah, I was going to say to be around about there. I mean, you're definitely on the higher end with your keepers, with a total spend of 95 on your keepers, but yeah, you've shown you've got the ability to spend sparsely but wisely in the draft and spread that and retain a little bit. Look, I think it's not a position you're unfamiliar with, because some prefer to have that dollar holding in a lot of value with your keepers, some don't. B's totally fair. I think with the quality of the players you got, Jalen Williams is in such a great spot. Carrington was really good last year. Really good foundation.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And as most guys in the league go, my usual finishing spot is about fourth anyway. So I think that's a team that'll hit fourth, and be the first person out of the prize money again. So yeah, good for me.
Beautiful. So going from first person in the prize money, we'll start going. We've got the first person in the Surgeon family as we go through. We've got three of the bastards. Adam Surgeon.
Do we coin him the? I guess one of the first people to ever say "make him pay."
I'd go so far. He is the founder.
He's the founder. He's the founder of the name. Yeah.
I'd say he is the godfather of Make Him Pay. Phonetically, he came up with the rhythm and the rhyme of Make Him Pay, for sure. I'd give him that absolutely every day of the week. In terms of his position, making a little bit of noise as to what he's going to do with his rookie picks in the upcoming draft. He's trying to kind of fox us all.
A year that he doesn't make noise?
Never. That's a Surgeon thing, mate. They all make noise. God love them. So his current position, let's have a look here. If I just go back to that master one to see the numbers that I want to see.
Roll off his keepers, and then you can go through the numbers.
Yeah, rock and roll.
He has Cade Cunningham, Derek Lively as his RD, and his second RD in Zach Edey. So.
beautiful. So enters the draft with 233. Keeper position of 38, very low with the quality of players he's got. Cade Cunningham was just unreal last year. Really came into his own and just owned that Pistons roster. Goes into the draft with $195. So same as CJ, I think definitely, again, not unfamiliar with being in that position. He's really good at amassing the funds to then go splashing and spending. Yep. Got an affinity for crabs. So... definitely
in Squeaks, yep.
In Squeaks, sorry, of course, yeah. I'd like to clarify that is not please don't file a defamation lawsuit. That has nothing to do with any personal or physical condition. Dollar crabs is kind of what we call the guys, just real cheap late round flyers. You just need someone to fill the roster. He's got a very soft spot for the dollar crab. So I think that lends himself to him definitely wanting to swing for the fences with some early guys, just, stamp his authority on the draft and then kind of figure it out after that. But that being said, 195 is a lot to go into the draft with. You're effectively at net zero, which is real smart from the end of last season. That's probably a B plus from me, maybe even A minus.
I think so. I think I'll go B plus. I think the Collier one's up for debate. I think Edie only because Edie's out for a little bit, but I think with the 195, Cade Cunningham and Derek Lively in our scoring system, I think he's in a really good position. And if you don't mind me saying, probably I think you'll agree with me, this guy in our league hits on a rookie more than anybody ever known. It doesn't matter whether he has pick 2, 1 or 16, he'll somehow find a way to hit on a rookie.
Yep. Which is just ludicrous.
I reckon.
It's the magic highlighter. It's the Nick's jersey. At least we've got Nick on Nick crime. Is one of the terms he coined. Look, going on from Adam, I think I think Adam's in such a good spot. We go to Eric, who looking dollar wise, he's been the most successful competitor in the history of the league. One of the founders. In a ripper spot, so enters the draft with $235. His keeper position is $60, and he's going to have $175 to spend. Keepers, he's got Alperen Şengün, Miles Bridges, DeAndre Hunter, and Yves Missy. Real big on Missy. He's very excited about what kind of position he can find himself in to start the season. Miles Bridges, he's just capitalised so strong. I mean, he's got him at $1. Never, obviously there, stuff off the court. That's kind of a bit of a theme sometimes with some of this stuff. But Miles Bridges at $1, like the output he does for Charlotte, that's just unreal.
And that's how he got
similar to
That's how he got him at $1.
Yeah,
he was
that is. Yeah. I was one of the ones that dropped him. I think at the time. But very similar to EO and some of the other guys. So Şengün, he's got at $56, Bridges at $1, DeAndre Hunter at $2, and then Missy was his rookie from last year. Look, guy's got an eye for a deal. He's got an eye for a player. He's very thorough. He knows what he's doing. I think honestly, just in terms of his consistency and his output, he gets an A by default. Yep. I think he just kind of finds himself. There's only really been some odd. Look, probably there's only been some very odd situations where he kind of just throws it in if the pieces aren't working, and then is very proactive with his retooling for the following year. So still somehow with the way that he goes has big picture in mind. Yeah, dude's in a good spot.
That's it. Cool. Moving on to Jacob. Jacob starts with Zion Williamson, Chet Holmgren, Jalen Duren, and Superman Khalil Ware. So, big guy heavy. And
big guy heavy,
yeah. You want to roll through the spends?
Rock and roll. Okay, so rock and roll through. So starts the season with 234. Again, actually, this is the largest allocation towards keepers. So big man heavy, but big dollar heavy. His keepers are setting him back $114. So he's only got $120 to spend in the draft. But I mean, the breakdown on his keepers, it's very evenly spent across, really, for the most part, which I like visually, I think, in terms of that allocation. So Zion, he's got at 38. Dude is looking lean, mean, and ready to play. Jalen Duren at 45. He's got Chet Holmgren $30, and then Khalil Ware was his dollar rookie from last year.
Yep.
Dollar rookie, but yeah, I mean, that's it's expensive, but it's such a powerful keeper roster.
It is
just a great stable. Great keeper stable to start a season with. Had some really good draft picks with some of his cheaper guys that then fleshed out that roster and built upon that. Look, you could easily, I think you could look at an A just on keepers alone. Maybe cost just because it's more on that pricey end. $114 is a lot.
Yep.
Probably downgrade him a touch to a B plus.
Yep, I'm in agreement.
But yeah. He's in a really, really good position as well.
Yeah, cool. That sounds good. I'm in agreement with that, and let's move on to Cole.
Rock and roll, mate. 2 more to go.
I think 2 more.
Okay, so Cole,
go and we'll wrap this up, I reckon.
Yeah, no, sounds good to me, dude. Okay, so Cole is the only person in the league that's not going into the draft with 4 keepers. He's got 3. So interesting straight out of the gate. But the keepers, the names read really well. Started the season with a rounded $200. His keepers are only setting him back 36. Obviously, there's only 3 of them, but still lower in the numbers. And he's got 164 to spend in the draft. Prime, if you've got the names there, feel free. What are the keepers that he's got?
Stephen Castle as his RD, taking through another 2 big guys in Walker Kessler and Goga Badadze. Odd one in Goga, but also he's given a bump in our scoring system because of his efficiency and his ability to get boards and double tendencies and so forth. So, we'll see how that rolls out with the addition of Bain and the minutes balance at Orlando. Only having the 3 keepers and still sitting around that 164 mark is probably where I bump him down to sort of that C minus range, only because everyone else is taking 4 positions with some form of talent. He'll have to find that talent in the draft, and there are what are we talking now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 guys with more money than him to spend. So he's got to be willing to throw a few risks out there in the draft if he's going to hit on a couple of guys to pull that talent in, and then get frugal later. But we'll see what he can do. But I still, just based on his position, probably more like a C minus at the moment. Not to say that that's him written off, because we all know that the balanced approach needs to be taken from your draft spend, your draft day, plus your keepers. So it's everything in totality.
Yeah, for sure. Look, I'd probably agree. I think definitely deserves some recognition. I mean, Stephen Castle, Rookie of the Year. That's really, really solid. The Spurs are just kind of a Rookie of the Year factory at the minute. Castle is obviously incredibly well regarded. Goga for the impact he may or may not have. It's only a $2 cap hit, and then Walker Kessler is the majority of his keeper allocation at $33. Yeah, some question marks there. Obviously, to a certain extent, one hand behind his back entering the draft, just not having that full allocation of keepers, but has proven himself to be able to get some value on the waivers, to get some value later draft. So long as he doesn't find himself at a wedding or some kind of public function on draft night and he's actually present, ready to go, I think he'll do perfectly fine. Got an eye.
I'm happy if he's at a wedding. I don't mind. It doesn't bother me as long as he doesn't call me ugly too.
So true. Just giving him stick. But look, the guy's got an eye for talent. It just depends. It's going to be a little bit more difficult for him. So a C for me.
Yep. Cool. And last manager to roll through, Morgan.
F.
Yeah.
The bane of my existence. This guy.
We didn't say how we feel about him as a manager within the group. We're trying to And that's the end of the show. Thanks very much. Nothing really further to talk about. Oh, geez. Okay, so Morgan. Look, he's made some really interesting moves in the off season. Most notably, taking ownership of Nikola Jokic
That's a big name. He's capitalised on some roster positions on some teams. His keepers, to me, look really interesting. I actually think he's in a really good spot. It just depends if he can capitalise on it.
Yep.
Certainly hoping he can, but his breakdown, he enters the season with $239. His keeper position, obviously, Jokic is in there, right? So we know the number's going to be high. His total keepers are worth $94, and he goes into the draft with 145. Reasonable, yeah, for sure, reasonable. But those keepers, let's have a look through them. We've got Shaedon Sharp, Nikola Jokic, Toumani Camara, who is, primed to really, it's kind of make a break, I think, for him in Toronto, and Peyton Pritchard, who's.
Portland.
Sorry, it's not Portland. Sorry, it was Toronto last year. My bad. And Peyton Pritchard, who was probably his most recent get in the off season, and that's smart trading. Going to be in a great spot with the Celtics, obviously with Tatum and all that kind of stuff going on there, and the players they've moved on. Look, it could easily be. Look, if it wasn't. Well, actually, look, if he had a little bit more, I mean, Jokic is worth a lot of money. If that dollar figure was a touch higher heading into the draft, you could probably look at like a B+, but I'd probably go like a B- or a B. It's a great foundation, and with Jokic on your roster, you will be competitive every week. That it's just a given. Look, if he makes smart moves like he has in the off-season and puts a good supporting cast around them, he could really be a mover and shaker.
It could be. Look, and I agree. I'll agree with you on the grade there. And to be honest, when I did these grades late last week, I actually had him lower than even with Joker on his team. He's made a couple of clever pickups this week, capitalising on the preseason form, some of the injuries that happened over the off season. He's picked his roster back up, and he's made some late moves before the draft, which is great, and he's put himself in better shape. So I'm happy to bump up to what you've got. It's Joker or break, really. If Joker stays healthy, I think he can build his roster around there quite easily with 145. Joker goes down, he's cooked. So
I mean, absolutely, but it's
145. If Joker's not there, ask David. He's cooked. Yeah. So
there's a lot riding on it, but the guy is just an anomaly. What an awesome guy to watch, and just the impact he has on every part of the stat sheet, right?
I say that. For both sides of the coin, but we all know what Joker's been like historically. So,
It's the copium. It's like, oh no, there's a lot riding on it. It's like, dude, it's Jokic. The guy's just a walking triple double.
Yeah.
That's why you make him pay. And look, he has, but look, you get a premium for that kind of talent. But he's decided to make that move. It was pretty proactive with it straight after the end of the season too. Didn't muck around. Like, got on. It's like, yep, I'll have him. Wasn't really much of a factor last year in terms of Morgan's standing. But he is primed. He is going to absolutely try and make something happen. So it will be very interesting to see how he goes in the draft.
Beautiful. That covers everyone, and I think that gives a really in-depth snapshot of the keeper positions and this. I guess the lead into draft day on Saturday, and I'll be really interested to see how this plays out. I want to see who for next week, or who for the next pod will be the make him pay segment winner. So that'll be interesting. Interesting to see who pans out to be that winner.
We'll have a short list of entrants for sure.
I think there'll be a long list, not a short list.
And I know I'm going to be on it. But anyway, look, I'm excited. Also very nervous. I mean, this draft week, super keen, but not being there for the first time. I've got one of my best mates is going to be stepping in. I'm, giving him a draft board, and he's going to have a bit of fun with it, which I'm really excited for him. A little bit nervous to see what my roster looks like when I open the app when I get off the plane, but. Look, super keen to get into it. The rookie situation. I know we said we weren't going to talk about it, but like, who are you taking? Like, what rookie are you going to pick? Do you know?
Sorry, Chris, I'm not answering your question.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. That was that was from CJ. But look, yeah, really, really excited. So I suppose probably next week we can do a bit of a recap. Who picks who? Go through that rookie situation that we have built into our league. But dude,
and I think
yeah, that was yeah.
We'll bring in Constitution Chronicles, and we'll go
Yep.
through individual items of the league, which are the nuances that we'd love to talk about. The RD picking and the RD bidding and contracts. I think that's a key component of the uniqueness of our league, and yeah, that'll be something to pick up on episode 3. Cool.
Rock and roll. I mean, final little.
Yeah, you go.
I'll just say, just as a teaser, even like 10 seconds, right, for the billions and trillions and quadrillions of listeners. Some of the names that you're going to see getting picked up in our draft next week. These are guys in the free agent pool. We've got Luka Doncic, we've got Trae Young, Harden, Anthony Edwards, Devin Booker. We've got Sabonis, we've got Vooch, we've got Kevin Durant is up there, Tyrese Maxey, and we've got Giannis is a free agent as well. So we've got people clamoring to grab him, and you've even got Karl Anthony Towns up the top there as well. So plenty of big names available.
Yep. There is some big names.
It's going to be very, very exciting.
Fantastic. Yeah. Thank you, Cowie. That's awesome. So look, we'll wrap it up there. For anyone listening, please, by all means, leave a comment, ask us a question. If you've got any questions about how the league set up is and how it's run and what it's like to play, please let us know. More importantly, we've got one pod out. This is number 2. Like, subscribe, do what you need to do. That'll really help us and bring on the start of the season. Good luck for all your drafts.
Rock and roll.
Consider giving the Squeaks format a try, and we will.
And give us a follow too. Where do they find us, Prime? What are the accounts? Where do they find us?
Squeak Scolari on Instagram and also on YouTube.
Cool. Awesome, super keen, man. That was fun.
All right, catch ya.
All right, thanks, guys. See you next week.
Yeah.